you looking for some budget-friendly decor that might also be functional? Well, stay tuned. Hi, my name is Leslie, and welcome to Happy Tuesday, where we do crafts and DIY and home decor and more. Today I have for you 6 super easy and quick and cheap DIYs that you can use to add some fun to your functional decor. Now, don't forget to stick around until the very end and I'll have a hint on one of next week's projects. So, let's get crafting! Here is a quick sneak peek into all 6 of today's projects. I can't wait to share these with you. This is going to be such a fun video, and I am so excited about these quick and easy projects. And that will bring us to project number 1. This one is the project that I talked about last week when I gave you the hint for one of this week's videos. So you're going to take 4 wood rounds, because there's 4 numbers in my house number. And so you'll take whatever number of wood rounds represent your house number, or if you're giving it as a gift, their house number. And I wanted to sand down these wood rounds so that it is a smooth surface that we'll be working with, because it makes it easier to use our torch paste and get a clean burn. Next, I'm going to grab my Cricut Joy, and I am going to put in the numbers that I need, and we're going to make stencils to use with our torch paste. Now, if you don't have a cutting machine, no worries. You can take stickers and just take the inside out of the sticker and use the outside part as the stencil. Or you can get numbered stencils if that's what you'd like to use. And then we're going to place those on our wood rounds. We are going to apply the torch paste in a very thin layer and let it set for a couple of minutes. Once it's set and we've grabbed our handy dandy heat gun, we are going to pull off our stencil pieces, and then we are going to use our heat gun to actually burn the numbers right into our wood round. So we'll start with this one here. Now, your heat gun can get really hot really quick, so in a minute I'm going to decide it's too hot to hold, too hot to handle, and I am going to grab a clamp to get my hand away from that heat gun. Once I've gotten it all burned, then I will move on to the next one. But I'm sure that you can see the places where I got a little bit of torch paste where it didn't need to be, and I'm just going to use my handy dandy nail file and clean up all those little edges that are not supposed to be in my project. Easy peasy, just like that. Once we've gotten that cleaned up, we will move on to burn our other 3 numbers to make our 4th number, and then I'm going to grab some twine. Now I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can hang these, and we are going to start by drilling holes with our handy dandy pink drill here. If you don't have one of these, you definitely need one, and I'll have the link below in the comments section where you can pick one up from Amazon. I use this all the time in crafting. So we're going to go ahead and drill holes, one in the top, one in the bottom, making sure that they line up. And then we are going to grab our twine and we are going to thread it through our hole and create a knot. And then we are going to cut off that little section, depending on how far apart you want your numbers, and thread it to the number above or below, depending on where you are in the sequence. Once we've gotten those knotted together, then we will grab a little bit more twine and create a hanger up at the top. Now, depending on where you want to hang these, you can do it like I did with just a simple pass through with a knot. Now, because of the location that I'm going to hang mine, it gets kind of windy, and so I wanted something that was going to be a little bit more stable. So I went out to my free store in my backyard and I grabbed a scrap piece of wood that had kind of a nice little angle to it that I thought would make this look really cute. Here are the 2 display options that I came up with. Let me know what display option you can come up with. I just think it's super cute and would make a really cute housewarming gift. I just wanted to pop in here real quick and tell you thank you. I know you have lots of options for DIYers that you could choose to spend time with, but I'm honored that you choose to spend time with me. Now, if you're not already a regular subscriber, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button and clicking the bell, you'd really be helping my channel grow. Give today's video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and comment down below. Now, let's get back to the fun of crafting. Here we are with project number 2. This one is so super simple. So back out to my outdoor store and I grabbed a branch that I felt like would be a cute little, we'll call it a sconce light. So that part of it can lay flat against the wall and part of it can stick out, giving us some interest. And then we are going to use on this particular piece I've got, we're going to use 4 of these little fairy lights. I bought these on Amazon, and I will have that linked below too if you would like to recreate this project. But I was looking for something that could, you know, kind of warm up a little dark spot in one of the areas of my home. And, you know, a sconce light would do it, but what's the fun and interest in that? So I grabbed this branch, and we are just going to wrap these fairy lights all around and leave all the little battery switches down near the bottom so that we can line those up, and I'll show you how I do that in a minute. We're going to just keep going and wrapping this around. I wanted enough lights on this that it would actually give off light when you turn it on in the dark. And I just think it turned out super cute. I love the way this looks in that little area of my house. And it really just does have that rustic decor. Now at Christmas time, I have some, I think they're white birch trees that I bought at Hobby Lobby that I use, and I love the look. So I thought this kind of created the look that you can use more year round. So I'm just going to take a dab of hot glue onto the back side of these switches, and we are just going to glue those right onto the back side of our branch so that nobody will be able to see the switches, but we'll have easy access to turn them off and on. And then I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that I displayed this. I thought about putting a little hanger on it, but here it is up on my fireplace, and it just gives off such a nice warmth. And here it is inside some candles, and I thought, you know, it kind of looked like a little fire display out of those candles. And that brings us to project number 3. This is another super simple one. So I just took 3 more wood rounds, and we are going to take 2 of them. We made sure that they were all 3 about the same size, and I'm just going to take 2 and my miter box and saw, and I'm going to make a flat edge on the bottom. And then once I get that one done, I'll go ahead and mark the second one so that they stand up equally as tall, and we'll go ahead and get that off. Gave them a good sanding just so they're nice and smooth. And then I'm going to use my super glue, wood glue that I got at the Dollar Tree, and a couple of dabs of hot glue for an instant hold. And then we are going to set these on that other wood round far enough apart to make a nice little napkin holder. And I love, love, love the way this turned out. So rustic and cute. And here it is sitting on my dining table. And I am just gonna throw some little napkins in there, and then we are all set. Easy peasy. And this would make another cute little housewarming gift to somebody that loves that rustic look. And that brings us to project number 4. And this is another super simple project you can do with just a few minutes worth of time and a few supplies. So we're going to take these cute little clothespins that you can get at Dollar Tree. I think these are things that I took off, you know, other items at Dollar Tree that I repurposed. And you can buy these cute little magnet buttons. And I've got the little wood rounds, which you can make super easily, grabbing some outdoor scraps and pick a twig or a branch the size you want your little pieces to be and cut them into little strips, and then you're just going to glue on your magnet and your clothespin, and voila, you have some cute little memo holders. Now, this is a little baby picture of me. I was probably 10 or 11 months old helping my parents wash my brother's diapers. Well, maybe mine too, but anyway, you can use these as cute little memo holders on your refrigerator. And that will bring us to project number 5. I love this one. This is my favorite one. And I just took a wood round and some more yard debris. And I picked a branch about the size of the inside of a paper towel holder. And I'm going to trim it down to find the best piece on there. To allow it to stick up just above the paper towel holder, but not too far, and be just the right size to go on top of that wood round. Now I'm going to sand off both edges, and then I'm going to use my little scraping tool, and I am going to take off all the bark. Now I scraped this off with this little Cricut tool, and I also sanded it all down, and I got my utility knife to get off some of the hard edges. It was really just took a few minutes. It didn't take very long at all. And once I got it all done, then I took it outside with my electric sander and just gave it a quick sand. Then I grabbed my handy dandy paint drill again and a 1-inch drill bit and drilled a hole almost all the way through so that I can secure my wood piece in there for the paper towels. And then I'm grabbing some polyacrylic, and I am going to give it a good coat of polyacrylic all along the top as well as the sides. And I will also polyacrylic our little paper towel holder there onto the side once we've gotten it all glued down together. So I'm just going to give this a quick coat, and we'll let this dry. The directions say to let it dry for a couple hours and then come in and do a light sanding. And then once you've gotten that done, we are going to give it another quick coat of polyacrylic. And in all, I believe I did 4 coats of polyacrylic just to make sure that it's good and sealed, because this is going to be my husband's outdoor kitchen. And I also wanted to make sure that the paper towel wasn't going to get stuck or hung up on any edges on that. Now I'm going to use the super glue, wood glue, again on the inside of my little drilled hole there, and also a little bit on the outside of my little branch piece for the paper towel holder. And we're going to go ahead and get that secured in the middle and let that dry. While it's drying, I went ahead and sprayed it with one more coat of polyacrylic just to get the whole thing a really good coat. The brush on polyacrylic I was using was a flat matte, and I wanted it to have kind of a glossy little look. So I had some spray polyacrylic out in the garage, and I took that out there and just gave it that nice little spray. But here you can see, good and handy dandy. I love this, and my husband is so excited to have this out in his outdoor kitchen. And I want to know what you guys think. Is this something that you could recreate? If you wanted to create something just a little bit bigger, you could use these, something like this, for extra toilet paper in your bathrooms as well. Cute and functional. And that will bring us to project number 6. This one, another one, so simple. So I picked up this old lampshade that was falling apart at one of those little thrift places. We have some around here that are held in, little storage unit buildings. And I think I paid $1 for it. And I'm just going to take it completely apart, all the pieces off, and all the fabric off anyway. We'll leave all the metal pieces. And once I've gotten all the little pieces that hold that fabric on, I'm going to grab some scissors, and we're going to cut the rest of this fabric off. Now, in some cases, you could save the fabric that you're taking off and give it another use. But this was so, we'll just say, dirty. And I just wasn't sure that it had another life in it, so mine actually went into the trash can. But if you're going to repurpose it and you find something that has, you know, a decent something on it, then, you know, you could repurpose the lampshade part into napkins, or maybe little placemats or something like that, or wash it and throw it in with your scrap fabric that you use for other projects during the year. But as you can see, I mean, the glue and pieces were so yellowed, and it had already lived its best life, I'm sure. Once I've gotten all those pieces off, then I'm just going to take all the last glue off, and then I'm going to give this a good sanding. I'm going to use my handy dandy nail file. I've also got some actual sandpaper that I'm going to use, and we are going to sand off all that excess glue and kind of grime and grossness that was all over this. And once I've gotten that done, I am going to take this outside, and I just grabbed a spray paint that I had on hand. This one happened to be kind of a coppery kind of color, and I gave it a good coat of spray paint just so that it all looked clean and nice. Now, I have this bug cover, and that's what I'm going to use on mine. But if you don't have bug cover, you could use twill or, you know, something like that. You want it to have some stiffness to it, so you wouldn't want to use cheesecloth or anything like that. You know, you definitely want to have something that's going to have some sturdiness to it. And then I figured out how much of that fabric that I needed, and all I'm going to do is take my hot glue gun, and we are going to just run a little bit of hot glue around the edge, bottom edge of this, and if I have to go over any, then I'll just trim it to the bottom edge, and you'll see me do that here in a second. We're just going to get all the way around and make sure the entire thing is covered. Once the entire thing is covered, we'll trim off all our edges. Now, if you don't like the way your edges are looking, mine didn't look too bad, so I left it like that. But if you want some extra finishing to your edges, you could grab a little bit of ribbon or extra fabric or something like that and run it along the edge on both sides, and that way it kind of gives it a little bit more of a finished look. I just glued it down so that it was tight to the inside all the way around and tight to the outside, and then, you know, just trimmed it off really close. Once I've gotten that all done, then I grabbed a handy dandy little knob my husband found out in the garage. It didn't have, you know, any of the rest of the pieces to the knob, so instead of screwing this in, I am going to give it a good amount of hot glue, and we are going to glue that right to the top of our lampshade. And I am so excited about eating outdoors this time of the year, but the bugs just get so awful, and so I wanted to have something to cover up the food while it sits on the table to keep the bugs away. And here it is, sitting out on my patio table with some salad and salad dressings, and it is just the perfect fit. Now, if you're wanting to do a picnic outside, you could grab, you know, several different lampshades of different sizes and shapes, and be able to cover up all your food and make it look pretty. And speaking of looking pretty, here's our final look at all of today's projects. I just wanted you to have some really cute and easy projects that you could make to give your own home a little bit of that rustic feel, or as a gift for someone else. They will really make really good housewarming gifts. Let me know in the comments below which ones were your favorite and which ones you would like to try to recreate. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really did enjoy our time together. Now, since you stuck around with me till the very end, here's your hint on one of next week's projects. We are going to be doing more projects with beads. But until then, make it a great day, and happy Tuesday!